Hello and welcome to the Video Creator Show. I am your host, Grant. As you know, this is the show where we show you how to achieve a certain level of success on YouTube. And the best way to do that is to talk with people who have already done that. Today, I am here with Traveling Robert, a channel with over 229,000 subscribers, and he has accumulated over 65 million total channel views. Today, I'm going to be talking with him about how he did it, the business aspect of things, and more. And as you probably know, the Video Creator Show is sponsored by VidChops.com, an editing service that helps take the burden of editing off your back. Check out VidChops.com to see how you can save yourself tons of time and energy while taking your YouTube channel to the next level. All right, and now into the meat of it. Today, I'm here with Robert. Robert, how you doing today?
I'm doing great, Grant. Thank you so much for having me on your podcast.
Yeah, so you got this channel, Traveling Robert. Clearly, you're a guy who likes to get out of his house and film some of these things. Why don't you introduce us to exactly what your channel is and what it's all about?
Well, it's a channel about travel, obviously because of the name. But what we do, if we focus mainly on RV travel. You know, I travel around the country, towing a camper, and I focus on that niche. I believe it in as I was saying, I travel around the country towing a camper, and I believe focusing on a niche like RV travel in my case is what has made the channel so successful, and that's what I do. You know, it's not as much how to or a learning channel. Most of I take people with me on trips around the country and have them experience the same things that I'm experiencing.
And so I notice you post a new video every Sunday. You do a live stream every week. Was there a reason to stick to the schedule? Is it just, does that make sense for your workflow and how long it takes to make each video? I think posting and how regular you post is a big question when it comes to the YouTube game. So can you walk us through how you decided on your schedule?
Yeah, this was all a learning process over the years. Of course, at the beginning, I wasn't doing this full time, so it was more like a hobby, and I didn't have enough content to post something every single week. But once I started doing it full time, I've even toyed with the idea of doing it twice a week, like the regular, highly produced travel videos, but that's unsustainable for the type of video that I do. It's 30, 45-minute video every week, and once a week is enough. But yeah, it is very important, I've learned, to keep it consistent so people know what to expect. I know I have some people who tell me, every Sunday morning religiously we wake up, or when we come back from church or whatever, we watch your video. And the same thing with the live streams. I do a live stream every Friday. And, sometimes I'm unable to keep the schedule because I'm traveling. Like, I'm on the East Coast, so for me it's easy to do it at 6 p.m. But sometimes I'm traveling when I'm in the West Coast at 3 p.m., it's kind of, let's just call it inconvenient to stop what I'm doing in the middle of the day and do a live stream. But I have to do it anyway because people are waiting for it. And I believe that's what's created the community, And it's like a party, We get together on a Friday, 6 p.m. We have a beer and have a good time, And we have many regulars.
So can you tell us a little bit about your community? This is always a big aspect of a YouTube channel, is not just how many views you're getting, but how many people are really engaged with you and your channel. They show up regularly, they care about you, they're in the chat, maybe they're giving you super chats. How long do you feel like it took to really build your community to a point where you were like, oh, this is real, this is happening?
It took a long time, but the live streams I started doing even before I was doing this full time. I actually started doing them during my lunch break at work. I would just whip out the phone.
Awesome.
And I worked at a very picturesque place in that sense. I was in downtown Miami, Brickell Avenue. I mean, you had the Biscayne Bay, the ocean right there. So I would go out and just started walking around and chatting with people, and and that's how we first created the community. I'm sorry if I froze there for a few seconds, but created the community like that, just at my lunch break. And then the first Friday that I did the regular Friday was the day I quit my job. And I did a Friday live stream just driving to my home, the commute, 45-minute commute or whatnot. And I forgot where I was going with this, but that's how we created the community, right? And that consistency, and people started, back then may have been, 20, 30, 40 people, but eventually we're getting regular 5, 6, 700 people, and occasionally we even break 1,000, like special live streams. Like I did a special live stream, like a countdown to my 100,000 subscribers. That was one of those that lasted like 2.5 hours, and we had so many people, and it was very exciting and things like that. So.
Mm-hmm. Wow, that's awesome. Those are good numbers as well. So do you have any advice for like how to keep people engaged with live streams? Because live streaming content is, I guess it's a bit weirder, it's live, obviously. You kind of have to fill the air for a prolonged period of time. It's not like you get to edit things down. So how do you go about keeping people engaged on your live stream and connecting with them?
I don't know. I guess you have to be yourself, and you just have to, pretend that you are just chatting with a group of friends. At the beginning, when there are not too many people and not too many questions, you kind of have to wing it, and that's why I did it. Walking around downtown, showing people this and that. It was more like, almost like a travel video, but live. I was just engaging like that, and right now it's easy because I cannot keep up with the chat, so I just answer as many questions as I want. People saying hello from all corners of the world, and sometimes I just end up doing the reading the super chats, because that's really all that I can get to sometimes. But I believe in the end it's just a matter of being yourself, being natural, and if you try to fake it, people are gonna see through it. So I think that's what we've been able to
Mm-hmm.
to have that great community.
Sure. Yeah, it's all about authenticity. So the fact you have this thriving travel YouTube channel, I think it's kind of hard to make it in this niche, because there's a lot of people who want to travel and find a way to monetize it. And, it kind of sounds like a dream, and it's a lot of people's dreams. Therefore, there's a lot of competition. Clearly, you have done very well in this space. I'm interested in knowing, what does your day-to-day actually look like? Because you just seem like you have a lot going on. Can you walk us through what a day in the life of Robert is?
Well, I have my ebbs and flows, right? I'm not traveling 100% of the time. I travel usually 3 months at a time. Then I spend some time at home base, and then travel again. When I'm traveling, it's very hectic, because it's during the day I'm traveling and seeing things, I'm filming, and then when at night, when I park the RV somewhere, or we're staying somewhere, first thing I do, import all the video that I took during the day, so it's safe in a hard drive and not in a memory card somewhere, and then the next Sunday's video has to be edited too. So it's a lot of work. I enjoy it, but there's very little like downtime, if you will. Yeah, and I am. Then when we are not traveling, and it's more time at home, it's just editing those videos. I'm usually what I am is month or 2 or 3, even 3 months sometimes behind on the actual videos that you're seeing online.
Wow.
So.
Wow. So 3 months, that's quite a long time.
Yeah, I would like to be more current, but to be honest, editing takes so long, and I underestimate the amount of video that I shoot on a daily basis. So yeah.
So A big question that always comes up with YouTube is like, how do you take people from YouTube and get them interested in, say, a website, get them off the platform? You know, I know you have merch that people can buy. You've kind of monetized it in this way. Can you tell us about your website and sort of the philosophy behind it?
Well, the website is travelingrobert.com, of course. It's and one of the things, keep it consistent. They try to keep everything with the same name, so people know how to find me. But in the website, yes, I have merchandise. People can watch the videos there, and I'm also selling my music because I'm a musician and I compose the music that you know, the background music for the videos, and they can purchase that too. And it's a work in progress, like everything else. I'm working on a map where people can click on different locations, and it'll take them to one of the videos. And you know, I don't advertise it as much as I should, but at the end of every video, you know, I tell people go to travelingrobert.com, and we also have a very active Facebook group. That would be the other place where everybody's, you know, interacting.
So, do you have any advice on how to build a Facebook group? Like, how did you get people from YouTube over to Facebook?
The Facebook group, basically, it was very organic. I don't know exactly how I just announced it here and there. I announced it a lot on the live streams on Fridays, and it just grew organically. I mean, people. I mean, for a while I was getting 100 people a day, hundreds of people a day. You know, and I mean, compared to my audience on YouTube, it's small. We have a little over 20,000 members, but everybody's so engaged. Everybody's constantly posting videos or links, or where they are, pictures and questions, and I'm just a part of the community now. You know, it's one of those things that everybody talks to each other, and people have even become friends.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. That's super awesome. And so I noticed that your channel has been posting for about 11 years. Your
Yes.
first video did super well. It has over 250,000 views. You were in Miami, Little Havana, and South Beach circa 2008. You know, this is like OG YouTube. Were you posting consistently for that entire 11 years? Did you like take a break, or have you just been on it the whole time?
No, the beginning it was very sporadic, maybe once a month. Actually, I had a small archive of like family vacations. Like, we went on a cruise ship. I did a trip to Alaska, and back then YouTube would only allow you to post 10-minute videos. So I wasn't able to post anything longer. So yeah, I kind of you know, chopped that up. Some of those older family vacations. But it wasn't until I started doing YouTube full time that I really started posting every single Sunday. That was in 2017. But you know, from around 2014 to 2017, I posted almost every week, just because, you know, we had already bought the travel trailer, and we were starting to narrow it down, and people started watching more, interacting more. And I'm like, you know, even if we only go out for a weekend to the Florida Keys, I can do at least once a week or every other week. And it turns out people love to see videos about the Florida Keys. So at the beginning of my, you know, RV or, you know, camping career, that those got a lot of views. And yeah, and then there was a video that I did driving to the West. Yeah, my first cross-country road trip. That was one of the videos. That video has a couple million views now. And that, I think that's the video that actually that was the breakaway video when the channel really started getting some traction. And this was I filmed it in 2018, and it probably became really big in 2019, or at the beginning of the pandemic too.
Oh wow! So you like you posted the video and it took a year for it to really take off, or do you mean you kind of were
Well,
working on it for a
this
year?
is the thing. It was originally it was a series of videos about this trip to the west. The trip took about a month and a half. I went all the way to the Pacific and back to Florida, and so many things in between. I called it my first cross-country road trip, one man's dream to drive from transcontinentally, and originally it was like, I don't know, 8 episodes, but then I combined them all into one long movie, and it's like I forget, it's like a 2.5 hour movie and that video is the one that really took off and has all these views, and apparently another thing, especially for my videos, YouTube likes longer videos because of the watch time.
Yes.
And these longer videos of mine, YouTube has suggested it to a lot of people who are not my subscribers. So those videos have like 15% of the views are subscribers, and then the rest is just suggested.
Yeah, longer videos are a very good way to potentially get more attention on YouTube. I think you were smart to, instead of having seven separate episodes, to combine them all into one. You said 2.5 hour movie. Like when you do that, it just gives a video so much more potential. 2.5 hours. If somebody watches that whole thing, that's 2.5 hours of watch time from one person. And there's like a lot of talk right now about, people have very short attention spans, so you have to appeal to that. In some ways, that's true if you're posting to YouTube Shorts, but with long videos, people actually do appreciate them. They, even if they're just kind of leaving them on and while they work or something, that racks up a lot of watch time for you, and it does absolutely give a video more legs, more potential to do well.
Yeah.
So, so that breakthrough video of yours, it sounds like that was kind of a really pivotal point for your channel. And is that when you just decided, okay, I'm only doing long videos?
Well, not really. It's not sustainable for me to do only long videos. I would post a video every month or every other month. So that's my main MO. I post, shorter videos, not short. I try to keep it over 30 minutes still. And then I will do like a series. I will combine 5 or 6 of those videos into a movie. Like cohesive movie. Like I did one. I did a trip to Arizona last year, and it was like 12 episodes in total. And then I just make the whole thing into one long movie. I called it the Ultimate Arizona Road Trip, and that video is doing really well.
Yeah, awesome. So do you have any advice for creating a vlog? Again, this is a pretty competitive scene. The fact you're doing well tells me you know how to edit. You know how to take out what shouldn't be in there and to keep in what should be there. Can you tell us about your editing philosophy?
Yeah, editing, is the most time-consuming part of everything we do, but at the end, I like to think of it as there has to be a certain rhythm. I like to think of it as almost like a symphony, kind of, it's and keep the rhythm. And there's certain parts that you can take a little longer, like a sunset. Keep that scene a little longer, but just think about it like. I don't know. Sometimes, I would like to keep something for 5, 6, 7 seconds, and then I realize, no, people are gonna get bored. People are, it's and another thing, and this goes into filming, preparing for the editing afterwards. We're doing video, so there has to be movement on each scene. You don't just keep the camera steady looking at a beautiful landscape, because might as well just take a picture. You need to move the camera sideways or zoom in a little bit, do something to keep the audience engaged on that image. So it's a combination of those, and also give them enough information so they feel like they got something out of it at the same time. And that's something that I do too. I do a lot of voiceover because it's easier, it's a better controlled environment for audio quality first of all, and then I can edit myself out. I can make it more concise. As sometimes I'm just speaking on camera on location, and you tend to ramble, and it's a combination of all those things.
Sure. So, can you tell us about how you got into YouTube in the first place? Like, what is your background? Like, did you have any experience in video production prior to this? Did you just kind of start making videos and it just happened to work? Yeah, tell us your story.
Well, I did go to TV production, to college for TV production, but even before then, I always it was film, filming and video production is something I always wanted to do. So I got once we migrated to the United States, we got my first camcorder, and I used to do a lot of videos and editing myself, VHS to VHS, that kind of thing. The technology back in the early '90s. And even though I went to college for TV production and I learned the basic techniques, technology has changed a lot since the mid '90s. So in that sense, a lot of what I learned was no longer valid. I never actually worked in the industry in production. I did work at TV stations, but doing other things, and video and filming and photography remained a hobby. And I kept doing my videos as hobby, and then YouTube came out in 2005, I believe. That's when YouTube first came out, and I became aware of it in 2007. And I'm also a musician, so that was another one of the things that I did. And my first YouTube channel actually is still on, and it's my name, Robert Morales. And what I used to upload is videos of us, the band, playing at different places, and even older videos of the band, like from the '90s, and that's how it began. Then, of course, that channel I couldn't monetize because of copyright issues. We were a cover band, so we didn't own the rights to that music. And even in that channel, I started uploading some travel videos. And at some point, I decided, let's divide them. Let's create a brand new channel just for the travel videos. And that's when it started taking off, and I was able to monetize and other issues, which and other things that so I was able to make this in the end a business. But yeah, I've ever since I can remember, I've been into making videos and making music, and with the YouTube channel I was able to merge both of those together.
Mm-hmm. And so you've essentially turned YouTube into a whole career. You've had all this experience, and then you got in the early days. You ran the channel well, and now that you are where you are, can you talk about how you're monetizing the channel? Because that's always a big question, right? Mm-hmm. Is how do you make money? So if you're comfortable kind of talking about that, what are your avenues for monetization?
No, of course, probably the main one at this point is AdSense. YouTube. I've been able to have enough views per month. That with a good CPM. That's the main source of income. Of course, I sell merchandise, and that's another source of income. That ebbs and flows. For a while I was selling a lot, and then it kind of slowed down, and it goes up and down. It really depends. I sell music online, of course. If you search for Robert Morales on are we still on? If you search for Robert Morales on Spotify or anywhere that music can be bought, you'll find my music. I make some revenue from that too. Then of course there's a Patreon, and I have a Patreon, and what I do, I do like outtakes, or I post videos earlier for the patrons, and they have several tiers, and for example I have a higher tier that is executive producers, and those who are at the executive producer tier, they get a credit at the end of the video. And it's all little different as sources of income that in the end they add up. they add up, and I'm able to make a living, doing what I love, which is the important part, right?
And sorry, I'm forming a question right now.
Yeah.
Well, are live streams also a big part of your revenue, like donations, super chats, things like that?
They can be some of them. They can be, but it's not a high percentage of the income, but it all adds up, and they depending some chats. Which is the one like the one that I did for my birthday? People, gave me a lot of super chats just because it was my birthday. It's the same with the chat where when I after I crashed my drone, people, this is for the drone fund.
That's sweet.
And but no, normally it all helps. But still, my main source of income at this point is AdSense. It's YouTube.
Right on, especially with those long videos. Like, there's a lot of room for
because if
ads
you make if you make a 10-minute video, you're gonna have 1 or 2 commercials in there. But if you make a 45-minute video, that video has several commercials in it, and the CPM goes up. And we had an outage there. I don't know how much
We're
of
back.
that you got. Yeah.
I think the camera got it. I don't know exactly what you said, but I think we can just sort of move on to the next one here. We can start wrapping it up.
All
right. Let's see here. So, all right. So this one's for the audience now. So we are experiencing some connection issues here. You, as the audience, will probably not notice it, but on our end, we're going to start wrapping things up here. And with that, towards the end, I always like to ask, Robert, what is your biggest piece of advice for succeeding on YouTube? Kind of a generic question, but I get a different answer every time, and I always like to ask it.
First of all, you have to like what you're doing. You have to like it, because otherwise it is a colossal amount of work. People don't realize how much work it is to produce. Some people do dailies. I don't know how they do it, but produce consistent, content every week. And the other one is consistency. You have to do it at least once a week. Good thumbnails, and that's the main thing. And of course, the content has to be quality content. Otherwise, people are gonna tune off and watch somebody else.
Great. Very simple, straightforward, and effective advice. I agree with all of it. So with that, Robert, why don't you tell people where they can find you, your channel, your website, your social medias, whatever. Be shameless.
Yeah, Traveling Robert. You type Traveling Robert anywhere or travelingrobert.com, and it's going to take you to me. So that's it. YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, everywhere else. And the website,
right
travelingrobert.com.
Sweet. Well, Robert, thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate your time. We persevered in spite of connection issues, and the fact that you're in the middle of nowhere and we're still able to do this interview is a miracle to me. So I am appreciating what we got here. Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you for having me. And again, I apologize for the connections issues, but it is what it is.
It's all good.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're living the dream right now. You're working from your RV out in the middle of nowhere. I mean, this is the life that we all wish we have. And sometimes, the internet is a little spotty. That's all good.
To me, the internet has been the one of the highest difficulties to be able to do this from the road and uploading content all the time. So, but we're doing it.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank goodness for Starlink, even if it's a little spotty with all these trees.
Yeah, it works great in Arizona, by the way.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Not many trees out in the desert, huh? Well, right on. And whoever is watching, make sure to like, subscribe, follow whatever platform you're on, so that you can see me and I can see you in the next episode. And with that, thank you for watching, and goodbye, everybody.